Hi guys, sorry about that awkward pause. It's taken me about 10 minutes to try to get this recorder working. Today I'm going to be discussing adult acne with a bit of a list because 2 months ago I got braces. As a 26-year-old, this has been an experience, something I didn't really think that I would ever get the courage to do. I had crooked teeth when I was younger and going through school, and not only could we not afford to get braces for all three of us kids, you can't give one thing to one kid and not to the others, but I also didn't want to be getting picked on for my skin and my teeth. So the bottom row is straightening and they're looking alright, but for the next 16 months plus, I'm going to be dealing with braces and finally getting around to improving my image, which is something that has bothered me for a good 15 years plus. So today we're going to be talking about adult acne. This comes as inspired by this girl that I care for who got picked on about a month ago because she's in year 6 and dealing with acne here. Now, I have never had severe acne in this area because this is my oiliest area, and I think that it's most hydrated and therefore, I don't know, it just doesn't break out. Don't ask me why. I have no idea about acne half the time. But anyway, one of the boys picked on her and she was absolutely distraught because she's the only one in year 6 dealing with it, and it's going to be something that she probably has to deal with throughout adolescence, if not adulthood. I was trying to comfort her, but I think I ended up doing the opposite because I was telling her that acne is natural, and like if yours is hormonal, you'll probably grow out of it. If it's not hormonal, you might have it in adulthood, but that's something that you'll have to deal with, as I have to deal with. And this is my skin. I'm not wearing makeup on my skin, like I'm wearing makeup on my eyes because I'm feeling a bit sick and I thought I'd look a bit like a zombie if I didn't put anything on. So, as you can see up here, these were cystic, and I've got a cystic one here, but normally I get just the nodular ones and whiteheads. So yeah, but these cystic ones, okay. I'm seeing a nutritionist at the moment trying to pinpoint the cause of my acne. And a few months ago, I decided that I would start seeing a nutritionist to help me pinpoint the root cause of acne because, as you know, or as you should know, that doctors won't tell you, acne is a sign there's something going wrong within. Sorry, I got my pen. This makes me feel very important and I need to have it. So yeah, acne is the result of something going wrong within. You've got to pinpoint what that reason is. So for most people in adolescence, it's hormones. It can be the same for women in their 20s who have polycystic ovarian syndrome. It can be if you're a woman because you have high testosterone. It can be because your adrenal glands are affecting your hormones. And that can be the result of chronic stress, liver problems, blah, blah, blah. I think mine is the direct result of a leaky gut where the nutrients that I do have are not getting absorbed by my body. Problems with the gut are also leading to food intolerances, and therefore what I eat is affecting my breakouts, because sometimes I can go 3 or 4 days without a breakout. Other days I have a breakout the next day and have 3 or 4 new pimples. So as with this one, or this patch here, I think that's directly related to gluten. Now, I cut out gluten and dairy in July last year. It is, what month is it got? April. Sorry, that took me way too long. It is April and I am going through my reintroduction phase. So with my nutritionist. So what this involves is refraining from eating any high FODMAP foods. They're foods that have certain types of carbohydrates, and those carbohydrates can trigger a reaction in your body, causing inflammation, and that comes out to the skin. So every week I'm introducing a new food and seeing how my body reacts to that. So I have always had belching, burping, and flatulence for as long as I can remember, and I'm pretty sure certain types of food trigger that response. But I'm still going to break out, which suggests that I also have food intolerance or allergies. So anyway, last week I introduced gluten, and for the first time in a long time I got just patches of cysts. So there's that one there. This one's healing. That was really swollen, as with this one. So next week is dairy, and I'm really not looking forward to that. The other weeks have been things like onion and garlic, beans and whatever, and they all represent just the highest FODMAP foods within the carbohydrate group. So anyway, I don't know if this is your problem, but it's worth looking into. As far as I'm aware, if you're getting acne, it's either a hormonal problem, gut problem, and that links to food intolerances or allergies, or it can be external, but that's more rare. If you've had it for like 15 years, it can be external, like things like you're not washing your pillowcase, an intolerance to what you're putting on your skin, like jojoba oil or mineral oil, or any type of harsh chemical. It can be the water that you're drinking, like the fluoride in your tap water. So drink filtered water when you can. It can be like a range of things, but what I'm looking at is the diet side of things, because my dad's had indigestion, and they keep saying that acne is hereditary, that you're born with it, and I'm just starting to see a pattern where I think like a lot of people in my family have an intolerance to something now, rather than like, you are born with acne, therefore you must suffer for 50 years. So as I mentioned, turning 26, and this is something that I'm not willing to accept for the rest of my life, so I'm really trying to figure that out. So when I was younger, I tried a range of things. I've got them all written down here because sometimes I forget. It's just been that extensive. I started off using benzoyl peroxide because all doctors just automatically go to prescribe you that as if it's the cure for your acne, where it just kind of treats the symptoms and actually can make them worse. So I use benzoyl peroxide, all the percentages. I started off at whatever our lowest one here is. I think it's like 1.5%, 2%, then I went to 5 and then 10. I think there may even be a 21. I can't remember if I did that or not. That just made my skin really reactive. It was red and dry, and I just hated it. Like, it smells like chemicals. It bleaches your face cloths. Like, if it does that to one of your eyelids, what the hell is it doing to your skin? So I gave that up pretty quickly. Like, I was really reluctant to use it, but they kept trying to pressure me into it. Then we went for antibiotics. That really didn't help me at all. So then we went on to birth control pills. So let me go back to antibiotics. If you have like the cystic stuff, it reduces inflammation and it's supposed to be a cure for some people, but I've since learned that antibiotics can cause more harm than good. They can actually damage your liver, as can the next one I'm going to mention, birth control pills. So I was on Yasmin 35 for about 1 year, 2 years, and I wasn't sexually active then, and I really didn't want to be on birth control pills for my acne. And I told her that it wasn't working, so we came off them, and my skin didn't change at all. But birth control pills can actually cause your body to do weird things with your skin. Like, I know a lot of girls that when they come off birth control pills, they get acne. So it's obviously messing with your body, and your hormones, and I don't want to do that. I haven't been on birth control since, so that would have been when I was about 15, 16, I think, and yeah, I'm not going to go back to that ever. So then we tried topical vitamin A product called Retin A, I think it is, or Steva A or whatever. And basically, yeah, it's just high doses of vitamin A, which does help the skin. But again, it just treats the symptom. It doesn't address the underlying cause. So came off that about a year later, and then that's when my acne was so severe. Like I don't even want to show you a picture because it was that bad, but I had cystic acne everywhere, okay, and I got picked on big time for it. So yeah, I went on Roaccutane, and maybe 3 to 6 months down the track, my skin was completely clear. And I was so happy, and I stayed on it for another like 6 months, and then it stayed clear for 2 months after that, and then it came back, and not as bad, like I didn't have it on my back like I did previously, or on my chest, but or as severe on my face after that, but I still did have acne. So long story short, I went on Accutane 2 more times, different doses, to see if that would cure it, and no, it didn't. It did while I was on it, but when I stopped, it came back again a couple of months later, which suggested to me that there was something going wrong internally, because like if it stayed clear for like a month or two after, like something was going wrong and kind of building up to make my skin finally just purge of all these toxins and shit. And your skin is your largest organ, so you know it makes sense. But I still haven't figured it out. What we're going to be doing next is supplementing with B vitamins, enzymes, taking enzymes or some shit, I don't know, and seeing if my gut is healed, and then looking at whether I'm sensitive to metals. So like, in case some of you don't know, in deodorants I have like aluminium. You can be sensitive to the plastics that you store your food in, things in, as I said before, water. We're also going to be looking at HCl supplementation, like stomach acid, if I'm not digesting things properly. And we may or may not go back to hormones. Now, I've done a hormonal test, and that shows that I have absolutely no problems with my hormones, but I've been taking adrenal support supplements because there was a slight problem with my adrenal glands, which may have been affecting my hormones. Now, I break out really badly around menstruation, because you need to know that. Yeah, so like after I have my period, 2 weeks later it gets worse, and then 2 weeks after that it gets worse because of the ovulation cycle. But as you can see, like this is just after my period, I still get almost every day or every second day a couple of pimples. So anyway, when I was younger, I dealt with a lot of bullying, and people would just assume that that acne was due to bad hygiene or what I was eating. Like, I would eat fried foods then, but so would everybody else. So that argument didn't make sense to me, but I didn't realize that, you know, some people are just more sensitive than others to it. But I still ate, you know, relatively healthy. I had like sushi every day. I'd have like fruit and vegetables. My mum always puts like a third of our plate, puts vegetables on a third of our plate, and then we have meat, and we'll have something else on the side. We used to have like garlic bread a fair bit, but these days she'll just put like mashed potato or like rice or something like that. So yeah, I got picked on a lot. There were three girls that I can remember that would make comments like, what's wrong with your face, and like, why don't you just get it fixed, that's so gross, and they call me pizza face. And there's this one girl who I used to sit with in maths, her name is Christelle. Hi Christelle. She called herself my friend, but secretly she didn't want to hang around me because I wasn't in the popular crowd. She'd always say that she was embarrassed to be seen with me, and she would draw cartoons of me and with lots of dots on the face, and I ended up just losing it one day. And I said, like, I just dopped on her. I said, like, can you fucking move her? Like, I can't take it anymore. And I showed my teacher the picture, and he did. So, but that didn't take away the pain that I was feeling. Like, when you're young, you take things to heart way more than you do when you're older. Like, I still get really upset about when people make comments, but not to the extent that I did then. And there were a couple of boys that I liked at school that I knew would not have given me the time of day. And I actually heard one say that he would go out with me if it wasn't for my skin, like maybe in a few years' time when it had all cleared up and stuff like that. So I actually did have a couple of boyfriends at school. And my second one, oh my God, like, he was Australian. We used to go dancing together. No, he's not gay. But, yeah. We used to go dancing together, and this one day, I think because it was so abnormal to have a pimple, like, right there, because as I said before, I get it mainly here. This one day I had a pimple right here, and he would not let it go. He would, like, poke at it and call me an Indian and stuff, and that was actually enough to eventually make me break up with him, because I just figured, like, you don't make people feel like that, particularly with someone that you're supposed to love. And it happened a couple of times with guys that I dated afterwards, particularly this Chinese guy, because, like, he said it, I'm not being racist, but he said that in his culture, his parents would pick on him a lot, so he didn't see what it was doing to me when he did it to me. He would make comments on my skin, like tell me just to apply this thing that they put on mosquito bites. I don't know, because that would reduce swelling or whatever. And he told me to see a dermatologist, and at the time he also told me to get my teeth fixed and stuff like that. And I just went like, if you don't like a single thing about me, why the hell are you with me, you know? And now I am loved regardless of this bullshit. Like, I can go makeupless and be loved like this, which is beyond me, but I'll accept it. I'll take it where I can get it. Like, I've learned to live with it, and it's something that, you know, I think will be strange when I don't have to. Like, I'm determined to get rid of it, because it does make me really, really, really down sometimes. Like, just last week when these cystic ones had split up, I didn't want to go out, I didn't want to do anything, I didn't want to see anyone, and nobody makes me feel bad about it anymore, because I cut people out of my life who have tried to make me feel like that. And a couple of months ago, I had this friend that I work with, right? And I work with kids, as I may have mentioned before. I don't know, I've been rambling quite a bit. And that girl was getting picked on for her skin, but I wasn't there to see that. And this guy that I work with was trying to explain that it was normal, but ended up insulting me at the same time. He said, you know, everybody gets it, it's part of growing up. Like Kirsty had it, like just last week or something like that. She gets really ugly cystic acne, and I was so pissed off with him. Like, I think I just felt, you know, when you're so upset, you just feel it in your heart, like, whoa. That's what I felt. And I think I said something to him in front of the kids, because I didn't want to show them that I was upset. I think I said something like, that's not very nice, or something. I was really sure, that's not nice. And then I didn't talk to him the whole day. And he didn't even get it. And I called him up about that, because he had picked on this other kid like a couple of months later, and I eventually called him up and said, look, you have to stop doing that. Like, you upset people. I don't think you even realize that you do it, but you got to be really careful, okay, particularly working around kids. And he told me I didn't have a right to tell him not to say things like that. He didn't see that what he was doing. So anyway, you don't need people like that in your life that make you feel small, particularly about your thoughts, because you've got to remember that acne is a skin disease. A lot of people don't recognize that. Like, would you laugh at a kid that had like cancer or something? Like, no, you wouldn't. It's politically incorrect. So even if you think that acne is a hygiene issue or something like that, I mean, it may be, you have no right to call people out on that. And I think as acne sufferers, we need to say to people, like, no, go and make yourself more aware of what acne is. You've never had it, so you don't understand, and you need to be more considerate, because that really hurt me. And you've got to say, that really hurt me. Otherwise, I think they'll just keep doing it to other people, and I may end up destroying lives. Like, luckily, I have a more resilient personality than I did when I was a teenager, but if he had said that to me in front of a lot of people when I was a teenager, I would have, like, completely secluded myself. Like, I already wrote emo poems, and I was, like, so obsessed with music. I didn't really talk to anyone. I was very shy. I hated life. I hated school. Hated any social event. Hated myself. I hated people that liked me because I didn't understand it. So, yeah, that type of thing is just not on, you know. Anyway, I think it's really important to highlight that adults can get acne and that it's not abnormal. There is something going wrong, in my opinion, from within. But that's a lengthy process, and God knows how long it's going to take me to figure it out. But there's nothing abnormal with that, because, like, I think something like 85% of people at some point in their lives have to suffer from acne, and that has to do with all types of changes throughout your life. Like, yeah, your hormones or your skin type changes, or you just develop an intolerance to food, or yeah, like hypersensitive to weather changes, or blah. Like, yeah, it's completely normal. And yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to say about acne. I just wanted to put it out there to support other people going through it, and recommend maybe another path that doctors aren't telling you, because trust me, I still go to doctors because I have to be able to go through these blood tests to see if I'm, you know, like low in vitamin D, or if I have hormonal problems or whatever. And they tell me, why are you wasting your time with a nutritionist? Like, they're just milking you. They have no idea what they're doing. There's no cure for acne. If there was a cure, we would know about it. But if you look on YouTube, and you'll see a lot of people that have cured their acne naturally. And Tracy Raftel or something like that. Sorry, I'm really bad. It's just one person that cured her severe cystic acne by managing her hormones and her diet and switching to all natural topicals. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. See ya.